Lovely charge over here, so we'll be taking this gate very, very easily over here. In fact, they're already rousing and therefore opening up the main capture point, and Gongsun Zan should be looking at quite the quick defeat over here. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Total War 3 Kingdoms series as Yuan Shao. We have recently beaten back Gongsun Zan and his main army over here in Bohai. However, we did not absolutely obliterate that army. We are in a bit of a position here because of that. Rather than being able to move straight in and demolish that on this turn, we do of course have to wait for the turn to end so that we can of course get our movement range back up. We will be able to replenish pretty much to full, I think, actually over this turn. Looks like a couple of our units will take 2 turns to replenish here. But it really depends on how much Gongsun Zan actually replenishes over the end turn. He has lost only 1 unit, which is missing. He's not currently able to replenish at the moment because he is in 4 stance, but that will of course change over the end turn. How are we looking with Zhang He? We aren't so bad. That will take 2 turns for everything to replenish fully over here. However, I have just noticed a secondary army led by Gongsun Zan over here. Not the largest, so we can certainly tackle that with Zhang He once we've replenished over here. We do have a tiny standing army over here garrisoning Anping and Xindu over here with some garrison as well, but that's not going to be able to stand up to this by itself. This is mostly for repression and sourcing out our public order. So, let's see what we're looking at. The courses flashing off because we are able to get a Grand Commandant and a Grand Excellency at the moment. The Grand Excellency will increase income from industry faction-wide. Is anyone particularly after a decent position? Lady Liu would love one, plus 24 to her satisfaction. What about a Grand Commandant? I forget exactly what that does. That's recruitment cost. So I'd certainly rather go for industry at the moment. Let's see exactly how much we're getting from industry, if we can. Yeah, so 658. How much was that? That was plus 15%. That's not going to cover her new salary, unfortunately. So that's rather unlucky. So I don't really want to press myself into that because I'm just getting myself more of a deficit at that point. I think we're going to end the turn because there's not a lot else we can do. We could try and get peace with Gongsun Zan, perhaps. We could do, but really he's just going to come back, and I do want to annex all of his land because this would be a real money maker and really secure our flank for us for the rest of the game. Especially since he has actually gone into Dai over here, and there's actually some horse pastures there, and that is very, very useful indeed because there's only a certain amount of those on the map, quite limited as compared to other resources, and they are only in the northern regions as well. So we're going to end the turn and see how this army over here moves as well. Okay, so we are in a bit of a pickle here. This army has actually come down to our south. However, I think we can probably take it on with Zhang He, but we do have to come down over here. That's the extent of our movement. So we're not in range to reinforce if they do decide to push on Anping. However, they will have to siege that down because it is a walled city over here. They will have to get up some siege equipment to help out with that. We do have a reform available, so let's carry on with that. I think we're going to try and go down for this replenishment. We'll get that in 2 more reforms, so that should be about 10 turns, or another 5 turns now, and that is excellent. The one we just got is retainer armies, which enables caltrops for certain units faction-wide, get minus 8% recruitment cost for melee infantry faction-wide, and 8 satisfaction for vanguards, as well as unlocking simple lance cavalry, which is very useful indeed for our vanguards. So we have a conscription office in Bohai demolished, and that is fine because we want really, I think since we have a merchant registry and the lodge, we're going to go for a food builder. We're going to go for the land surveying office for the simple food and peasantry income there. We do have a fishing port over here and already a farm supply storage as well to increase our income from peasantry and food. So that's going to be a very nice agricultural and commercial centre there. I think we're going to try. Are we going to try? That's the thing. Can we actually stand up to this army? Just because of our weird composition in this army, that's the problem. Oh, shit, a bit of a misclick there, but not to worry. we might just be able to also through that really. But it's the fact that they get that garrison there as well. I wouldn't mind carrying around with Zhang He, to be honest. I think he'd have a better chance there. What we're going to do is fall back here into these woodlands where we do have a 60% ambush success chance. We're going to try and lay an ambush here, try and tempt him back into Nanpi over here. Then we can come in with Zhang He later on. Is there anything else we can do? Let's just double check through diplomacy. I think we are sending food towards Liu Bei. Can we invite anyone else to the coalition? Perhaps Cao Cao would be interested. He's not particularly interested, but Liu Bei wouldn't mind. But that doesn't matter if Cao Cao doesn't want to join. How about Tao Qian? Let's have a look. He's not too... It's just because of his general base opinion there. Which is a bit unfortunate because he is friendly with us. What about Kong Rong? Just to get some more of our faction. No, that's not as bad. Not as bad. Being dragged down a little bit by wider diplomatic impacts. But it'd be great to get a little more lineage coming in for us, wouldn't it? Speaking of which, let's try and upgrade this captain retinue. Unbreakable is not necessarily bad. Running speed, because it is a cavalry captain, is of course useful. There's a lot of archery bonuses for these captains, I've noticed. Military supplies when in foreign territory is not bad at all. Let's go. Just simple attack isn't necessarily bad either. How are we doing for military supplies at the moment? We are actually gaining them, despite being inside enemy territory, which isn't bad. So don't necessarily need to go for that one. Might just go for, which is this replenishment in foreign lands, not necessarily bad. Let's go for that. So now we can replenish our retinues over here. And that's actually, at the moment, these are the ones that do need replenishments. That's useful there. I think that is about it for this turn, though. I don't want to spend too much money. It's not like we can spend a lot anyway. It's mostly upgrading towns. But it's our, really, in Ping Yuan and Anping, it's the public order that we need to watch out for. So I might want to upgrade this at some point when we do have the money. We can't have any assignments for us at the moment, but we might want to get something very specifically for helping out our public order there. We'll look at getting reform for that later on as well. Well, this is a bit interesting. We have the Great Divide event in Shindu, and that is diminished supplies, -5 reserve capacity over 5 turns. That will decrease for those 5 turns. That's just about going to be fine, because we do have enough over there to sort us out. We do actually have an upgrade for Shun Yu over here. We're certainly going to go for precision over here, because that will lead into composure, which allows them night battles and fire arrows, which is excellent. I'm going to take on this army then with Gongsun Zan's, or Gongsun Shu's army rather, through the faction name, and we are actually going to play this battle out. Well, the enemy was in encamped stance. They do, of course, have a camp to break through. This is the tiniest, almost siege-style battle. So we have deployed the majority of our men in one formation on this side over here. And we have put Zhang He and Yan Liang in this direction, hoping to bring some forces over. We're not, of course, going to charge them straight into these spears, because we'll get dismounted. What I'm actually going to try and do is bring them round these sides and come in this open entrance over here. We do have our cavalry in this area, but the Saber Militia, very tempting target, but they are backed up by some G Militia over here, as well as their strategists, giving them some morale and range block chance, which is excellent for them. Not so bad. What do we have over here? Morale, range block, and morale over here. We could try and get a duel out of this person over here. We'd certainly win that. And that's actually rather tempting. I think actually we are going to go for that. And we'll get Yan Liang over here. He can capture this area by himself, and hopefully that will bring round perhaps some spears round, so we can bring in our own cavalry. Just come around as quickly as possible. How we're doing over here. Don't have any active abilities to use, but I'm sure Zhang He will certainly be able to take this guy on very, very easily. He's got a lot more health. It's got a lot more stats just in general, really. A lot more attack power as well, which is what's really counting here. And both being sentinels, not too great on attack power are sentinels. What we're going to do is get our bows in and actually try and fire on these G militia over here for now. Get Yan Liang to capture that, and we've already won that. So it looks like he's routed off, just surrendered. So that's all good there. We're going to get our spears up as well. We'll bring everyone else round as a formation behind them. Zhang He, what we can do is come around and support Yan Liang. At the moment he's taking some arrow fire, which is not ideal of course. We have not taken this gateway. I'm going to try and get them, Yan Liang, over here into these repeating crossbows because they will do a lot of damage to our units, and he might be able to take the central point over here. Let's get Zhang He about as well. He can at least sit in here and actually capture that. We do need to watch out for this gate though. Now that these spears are leaving, we might want to rush in over here. Do have our melee infantry over here. Just bring them in onto these G militia just so we can get some more forces in. Get them going. There will be a tad slow over there. Do need to back up Zhang He now, I think, actually, because he is being attacked by some mounted lance militia. We have just been debuffed quite heavily there. That is a reduced melee evasion and armor by 100%, so we're going to take a lot of damage actually. So while that's on, we're just going. I've got 16 seconds to wait for that. We're going to try and reduce the amount of damage we take. Just run around a bit. I think we will bring in our lancers over here now because there's only Saber militia here. In fact, we will in fact just run into the backs of these. Get a nice little charge on there. Lots of damage already because of that. And our debuff has in fact finished. So we're going to get the help over here. We're charging in over here. We do have reinforcements. We're actually going to bring in the cavalry and Lady Liu as well. Not to worry so much about the Saber militia. How are we looking over here? No idea why these people are running straight through. That's a massive error. Just forgot about them, of course. So in that case, we're going to run out. Just bring in our infantry over here. Very, very silly mistake there. But we have just completely shattered everyone over here. Going to bring our cavalry into the archers and try and bring the G militia out as well. So bring our own heroes into there. Cersei thought this out very easily indeed. Massive mistake to forget about his archers. Not to worry, it's not the end of the world at all there. Really not the end of the world. We've shattered, we're rousing off these G militia at the moment. We'll try, there we go, they are fully shattered now. Get Lady Liu in here to help out morale and such. Capturing the gate as we go in. And we'll catch these White Horse Raiders actually, it'd be very useful. It looks like we're winning quite handily there. We'll just take our cavalry over here out. We don't need them anymore, it's just G Militia Spearmen over here. And what we could do is actually get our morale debuff on the enemy. Hopefully that forces the centre to rouse over there. Yeah, the G Militia is certainly leaving now, so that's excellent. So we're going to focus on the enemy strategists. Capture the area over here. And we'll try and actually get a little bit onto these horse archers. Alrighty, so how are we doing at the end of that battle? There was decisive victory, of course. They do have a few men remaining. We did actually kill off completely this strategist here and completely destroy a couple of G militia. So that should be a very nice retreat from the enemy there. We are actually going to take the replenishments today, I think, as ever. And we might just have some movement to finish that off in an also reserve. We will upgrade Zhang He beforehand though. And we're really trying to go for tenacity of steel. But I think, what do we prefer otherwise? 5 melee evasion for the infantry and his retinue, which is very nice indeed. We could go, as forest penalties get ignored, and increase ambush avoidance chance for his army. It's not necessarily bad at all. Charge negates for his retinue. That's actually very useful indeed, because we're not actually spear infantry in this retinue at all, quite susceptible to charges. So if we get charge negates, then that really doesn't matter, which is excellent. I think we're also going to upgrade his mounts to the Grey Stallion here. He certainly deserved it. And we are, of course, going to just finish this off in a very quick auto-resolve here. That's very nice indeed. Lots of loot actually out of that battle. Best lineage, of course, and we will take the replenishment once again. Small lineage rank gained, not to worry there, but we do have the problem now of Gongsun Zan actually over here. So, bit of a dilemma because he's certainly going to take Lei Ling over here. And we might just want to then try and tempt him out by taking Bohai? Possibly. He won't be able to get over here, I don't think, in a normal marching stance. But I think really we want to try and take this on, don't we? Try and chase him because it'd be nice to be able to have this fishing port as soon as possible for the income and the food, of course. But we really need to get rid of this army, don't we? Just wondering, it is quite battered. I wonder if I'll be able to take that on with our composition at the moment. We do just need more standing infantry, really, don't we, in this army? Rather than cavalry. Just don't necessarily always have the money to deal with that. We've got another rebellion imminent, which is just sad. Look at where that is in a second. We do have a horse exchange now in Huaishen over here. We're going to upgrade that, are we? Or we're going to upgrade to a... I think we're going to upgrade a Sissy somewhere, won't we? We'll have a look in a second. In Anping, we do also have this grain farms over here for prestige and food. Where's the rebellion coming in Anping? And that's rather interesting. It shouldn't be the case, because it's +1 going up. We'll ignore that one then. Yeah, we'll ignore that one. Do have a labour recruiter. Not so worried about gaining characters at the moment. Where we're looking, Ping Yuan is probably where we were looking at upgrading. I think we'll do that despite Gongsun Zan going in, because that will take 6 turns to upgrade. And we need that as soon as possible. So we'll try and bring Zhang Hu around. We're not going, or are we going to force march? It's not going to help us out a lot at the moment, but it's extra movement. Get him down to Ping Yen perhaps to try and catch out Gongsun Zan. And I think what we'll do... don't necessarily want to take this and reduce our army's numbers at the moment. I think what we're going to do is pull back a tad. You just get a couple more units out over here. We'll get some G Militia. What else we probably want? G Militia will probably do the job, really. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe some sabers. Maybe some sabers. I'd love at some point to get some trebuchets out because they absolutely batter enemies. They absolutely do a lot of work. But I think for now some G Militia don't need to completely fill us up, and that will take 3 turns to muster up. But we're going to end the turn there, and that will make, just make Yuan Shao's army just that much more self-sustainable there. And as predicted, we are going to lose the salt mine at Lei Ling over here, but there's really not a lot we can do about that being so out of position. But we're just going to let that happen. It's really not a problem. Gongsun Zan's actually signed a peace treaty with Dong Zhuo there, which is rather interesting. We did, of course, lose Lei Ling, and that has affected our economy a little bit, but we weren't gaining too much out of that just yet. We do have a land surveying office now in Bohai over here. We don't quite have the money to upgrade that, unfortunately, which is rather sad. But our food is now looking quite good as well. So what we're going to do is bring Zhang He around in this turn to Ping Yuan, garrison in there, and I do apologise if you hear a helicopter outside, which is rather interesting. Do get a lot of them around here. We're going to bring, of course, Yuan Shao over to help out as well. Hopefully we can come around. Hopefully he sits about and tries to replenish rather than goes back to Zhang Wu over here. Don't want that to be a game of cat and mouse. But I do want to replenish and muster up these units and just support Zhang He as well. So we're going to come in here and do that. That is going to reduce or increase the amount of time it's taking to muster up over here, but not to worry. How are we looking over here? It's going to be a very slow bonus to our happiness over here, but there's not a lot we can do about that at the moment. Nowhere else is actually, Wei is losing stuff at the moment, but we'll sort this out later on. We'll be fine, we'll be fine. All we can do is just chase down Gongsun Zan at the moment. Alrighty, so, Yen Tan is being attacked as a tax collector. We lost 500 just from that. It's a very random event. No particularly interesting characters to look at there. So what we're going to do is just move up a tad over here. Gongsun Zan is still about. So what we can do is actually we'll siege this down to begin with. Because we are going to get attacked by Gongsun Zan as well. So what we'll do is we'll starve us out. And we will bring in, of course, Zhang He to help out. Now, this is going to be a very interesting battle, once again. Very, very interesting indeed. So we are going to get reinforced by Zhang He. It's going to be another 2-army battle here. Could, of course, just delegate that, but we want to play this out. Really want to try and smash this down. Shouldn't be particularly difficult. Everything is still quite battered over here. His main force. Zhao Yun is still rather battered at under half health. Gongsun Zan is pretty much at full though, so we'll have to watch out for him. So it's going to be a case of waiting for our reinforcements again. This is a mine assessment battle. You can see the terrain here, not amazing. So we're just going to have to bring out the enemy and get the reinforcing army as they come in. Okay, so before we press deploy, we're going to run down the situation here. We are, of course, able to see where ours and the enemy reinforcements are coming from. We're coming from each other's flanks, which is very useful. Means we're not painted in like the previous video. However, that does mean they might have the chance to group up over here with the garrison. The idea over here is going to be to try and take the central point over here so that we can reduce the enemy's morale. That would be very, very useful indeed. So we're going to try and bring Yuan Shao over in with a contingent of cavalry to rush in for that. And we're going to sit over here and wait for our reinforcements to then attack Gongsun Zan's main army. Let's see how the enemy has deployed because we don't have sight over there. Yeah, and as expected, they are over here, but it looks like they're just defending this tower with actually some archers. We're going to go and rush straight in here. There we go. We do have some saber militia, but that's really not a problem. We're going to tie them up with Yuan Shao. And just be a little more precise with our cavalry over here. Let's see if we can just move in the corner over here and attack that arch militia. Might actually bring in the rest of our cavalry over here because we are going to be waiting for Gongsun Zan to appear just to help out. Lovely charge over here, so we'll be taking this gate very, very easily over here. In fact, they're already rousing and therefore opening up the main capture point of Gongsun Zan. Should be looking at quite the quick defeat over here. Already shattered them off, so we are going to run straight over here. Yeah, we've shattered these saber militia, so Yuan Shao can come in. Tie up this unit over here so our cavalry gets away fairly easily. And then we can start capturing this tower as well to reduce the archery coming off from there. We might actually want to capture this tower as well, because that will shoot us on the approach over to Gongsun Zan. So having said that, I think what we're going to do is take Yuan Shao over there, get the cavalry out. And in fact, we can see some horse fellows over there, so we might send our melee cavalry to deal with them. We do have some good range block. Send 2 units of cavalry over here to quickly capture that. Another unit of cavalry out to help us against the white horse fellows there. And Gongsun Zan is coming in now, so we're going to have to watch out. Really hoping for Zhang He to come in as quickly as possible. He has actually come in with his army, so we're just going to bring in over here, and we'll take a quick moment to pause and source out his army a bit better. Okay, and with that done, we are going to try and capture this tower because it is firing on the flanks of our cavalry out here. We are rather isolated, so I think we're going to bring these back down and try and tempt around the cavalry down here into our spear formations down here. We have captured the tower. So we're going to decline this because Gongsun Zan's standing health at the moment is actually a lot greater than Zhang He's, and I don't want to risk losing him over there. Going to just keep on moving down because we are being chased down by some Lancer cavalry. What we could do is bring round both Yan Liang and Zhang He to take on Gongsun Zan there. And we'll probably bring in their own cavalry retinues as well, because we do have this lance cavalry to worry about. So having said that, we are going to try and push in through to our own spears as well. Keep them braced so that we do get that charge reflection and such. Have we captured the main point over here? Not just yet. So come back around here, shattered some lance cavalry over here. We're coming to support in this main fight. How are we looking with this? Getting the support from our spears now, so we're just going to push through that. Bit messy, but not to worry there. Getting the support will be absolutely great, so we'll try and take on this unit over here. How are we doing with this main point? It's going to take a little longer. Just be able to watch that, get our cavalry out, because we'll need the support over here. It looks like, have we taken it? We certainly have now, and that is excellent. It's a permanent morale debuff as long as we have that. Routing off the Mounted Saber Militia over here. Doing some damage to Gongsun Zan. Rousted off and completely shattered some more cavalry over here. How we're doing over here with this cavalry, I think we'll just make sure we do have an attack order on these units. Hem them in. We can come in with our own cavalry now to help that out. Make sure they don't escape too easily. Really dealing with a lot of archers over here, so we're going to rush into those. Got some axe band as well for Yuan Shao to source out. So with that being said, we're just watching the health of Zhang He and Yan Liang, and Zhang He's health is actually rather low, so we're going to come back round into our army and let that push up as well. We do need our cavalry support. We're going to rush them into the archers on the sides there. Yeah, Zhang He is looking at rousing, so if we bring him to the back, we'll get him back up. Yan Liang can come round as well. Getting a bit careless, and we're getting rather careless on this side as well. Make sure everything does rouse off properly. It's good that we do have our men in the back line there, dealing with the majority of the enemy army. It's just these standing units over here. They have managed to get into our archers over here, but we have shattered those immediately. We'll just chase us off a little bit, get a few more kills on there. Look at all the archer fire coming out on this G militia though, who cannot withstand against it because they have 0 armor and 0 shield protection either. Make sure our own cavalry over here can get supported as well. And we'll try and kill off as many units as possible as they're rousing so that the enemy does not have anything to go off when we do win this battle. It's great we can say that we are certainly going to win it. I'm coming over here. I don't think I gave a real attack order there. So we'll focus our archers over here, keep declining these duels, and bring Zhang He out over here so he doesn't have to fight anymore. And Yan Liang over here as well. How are we doing in the centre then? Basically no one left in that archer militia. Bring everyone back then. Deal with this cavalry. Deal with these horse archers with Yuan Shao. And I think we'll get our archers then to focus on this retreating unit here. Get Yan Liang to charge some people down for some more kills there. Yeah, Gongsun Zan is retreating, so we don't need to worry about him anymore. And that is a rather limp but sound victory, if you ask me. Doesn't feel like we've done too much there, so we're just going to focus on making sure they can't replenish now. Ignore everything else. Just get any rousing units, get rid of these white horse fellas, because they're very bloody annoying. And that's excellent. Guessing a bit caught up with Zhao Yun there. We'll come away from him if possible. Looks like we're doing okay over here. We'll wrap down this lot, and that is a victory. So we'll spend some time now, once the set, like I said, just to chase down any remaining units, so there's nothing for them to replenish now. Come over here. Looks like we are quite tired, but that will be it for this battle. Excellent. And there we go, exactly what were the results of that. That does mean we have taken back Lei Ling over here, which is excellent. But if we look at the army over here, they do still have some remaining units, but very, very minor indeed. And that is exactly what we like to see. Gain a bit of lineage. We have captured Zhao Yun. That is absolutely amazing. Really legendary character, once a lifetime opportunity. Don't care about the salary. We're going to certainly employ him He will certainly be very, very useful in the future. And we are going to secure and occupy. That's also, of course, taken a large retinue and a bit of attack power away from Gongsun Zan there, meaning we should be able, we don't quite have the movement just yet with anyone, of course, to just beat him back down once again. So he will escape once again, but we now have Zhao Yun to have a look at. So where exactly is he? What's his satisfaction looking like? Won't be great at the moment. He will want a higher court position, and recent events will go away after a time. So it does have an heirloom spear. We can't upgrade that at the moment, can we? No, his heirloom spear is better than the family spear. That's all good. It does have Zhao Yun's armor, increasing his range block chance and charge bonus, and providing a good amount of expertise there. It does have the craftsman for the increased income from industry there, and that would be fine as it is. Don't want to replace that with anything. Can't give him any ancillaries, unfortunately. Or accessories rather. Does have some good traits actually. Does have Flames of the Phoenix, which is very, very useful. Gets Elemental Vigor rather than Tenacity of Steel, which is useful. Okay, so it's very, very good indeed, as it should be. And that, I think, we'll do one more turn and we'll see if we can get over to Jiang Wu, and that will do for today, I think. So we'll end the turn there, see where Gongsun Zan goes to. Okay, so at the end turn, we are friends between Jiang Hu and Yuan Shao. Very nice indeed. Character development, Zhao Yun is ready for Juicy. Character ranks for Yan Liang, which is very useful for us. The armor piercing over the army is actually not bad at all, but I do want to go for this Mighty Thrust active buff to increase charge bonus and such. We do, of course, want the charge bonus for our retinue as well. And that is very useful indeed. So, what we're going to do with our armies then, I think we can push up together once again. Push up a little bit with Yuan Shao first to get the sights. And of course, Gongsun Zan is over there. I think then we're going to take Jiang Hu over here so we can carry on replenishing. His own health at the moment is terrible. Absolutely terrible. How much movement do we have left? Not enough for an encampment, but we will ambush at the moment, just in case Gongsun Zan wants to come out and attack Jiang Hu, but I doubt that's going to be the case. And over the next turn then we'll try and get Jiang Wu. So anything we can do with our money at the moment, we could upgrade this land registry over here, land surveying office. Huane might be decent as well to upgrade. Might want to think really about upgrading the town over here so we do get the extra building slot and help out our public order over here is more of a priority. Got to watch out for our income as well, because our salary is absolutely massive as well. Our outgoing salaries, diplomacy is really propping us up at the moment as well. Is there anything we can do? Let's go for salsa. I'll try and offer the military gen and the family spear. Neither of them overly great. Nothing really great there. We'll confirm that. See if we can get some sort of regular payment out of that. That's offering you fool. We will request a regular payment. There's not a lot of room to work with there, but I'll be happy with a couple hundred. We're able to get over a couple hundred there, which is brilliant. 450, go on. Try and push that really to 500 if possible, as that will really source up 534 for 10 turns. That is amazing, so I will certainly take that. It's a fair price for a fair trade there. Excellent stuff. So once again, quick turn, but that's all we can really do. Just need to keep pushing. We'll take bow high for this episode, I think. So for the end turn, we are finally able to get over to our reforms. But the young emperor has come of age, and that is very interesting indeed. I shall let you read through that message in your own time. You can pause it and read it in your own leisure. But what that means is that Han Empire territory, if we can find any, like Gu Pass over here, is no longer fair game. We will take a hit to the new part of Imperial Favour now. So if we run down through this, we do get to converse more directly with the Emperor now, who is under the protectorate of Dong Zhuo. We will be able to capture him though to help out our own Imperial Favour later on. So with that, if it falls too low, basically the Emperor can say everyone needs to declare war on this particular person, don't like them, and then everyone will be able to declare war on you free of charge, pretty much, with no strings attached. So also, to see Ji Ling is able to be recruited, we'll keep an eye out for that. We do need to watch out for our salaries outgoing now. So which also means attacking Gongsun Zan will probably see some malices and decreases to our own imperial favour, because he doesn't like people fighting amongst themselves, doesn't like the warlords fighting amongst themselves. So that's rather unlucky, because we do still have quite a bit to go for, but we can finally get that oh so cherished 10% replenishment, and that's excellent. Love that. So later on, I think we're going to have to go for character salaries. And that can be reduced by, we do need to first build a school somewhere. We might want to go for the increased administrative position, which leads to an increased directorate of yen there, and some saber cavalry recruitment, more assignments and such. But we do, of course, want to build, at some point, a tax collector, because that does give us a malus for public order as it stands. However, it does unlock the reduced corruption and increased public order through technologies for all commanderies there. That's rather useful indeed. So we have an orange. We're not particularly satisfied with Yuan Shao. What I might do is actually try and get rid of him through diplomacy, because I'm not planning on using him for anything. I wonder if we might be able to marry him off from South. No marriage is available there. What about our cousin Yuan Shao? Not particularly. Running out of options here, I think. No marriages available. What about Liu Bei? Does he not want to marry? No, okay, interesting. Dong Zhuo, maybe. Peace with Dong Zhuo, but no marriages available. Kong Rong. This is very sad, isn't it? No marriages available. Can't get rid of him. Liu Chong, last hope. No, okay. Alrighty. Very interesting indeed. Can't even marry off with Liu Dai, who's usually a good person to go through. Does only want a higher court position. We'll think about that in the future. I think for now, though, we will try and go for Gongsun Zan. We'll go with both armies. We'll starve that out for a minute. We'll come in, Zhanghua. That should. Can't quite. There we go. And there we go. We're just going to delegate this because it is a fairly easy battle to just run over. I think we'll be absolutely fine with that. We just demand a surrender. He has surrendered. Alright, fair enough. Wasn't quite expecting that, but we'll certainly take it. We'll secure and occupy Jiangwu and complete the commandery of Bohai. They've also got a military great axe there for diplomacy use, I'm sure. And the fishing port there gives us a bit of prestige and food, which is brilliant. We do need the prestige. We're not, we just need 50 more prestige to get to the rank of Marquis, and that allows us to get better captain retinues and vassalize other factions. I'm very much looking forward to that. Low satisfaction from Zhao Yun as well. He wants a higher court position. Have to think about that in the future though, because that is unfortunately all we have time for today. So once again, thank you very much everyone for watching. It's very much appreciated as always. I do look forward to reading your feedback in the comments section below. But in the meantime, may all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.